What you need to know about Amazon categories. Before you decide on what products you are going to sell on Amazon, it is important that you understand about the different categories that exist. In this video, we will discuss the most popular and profitable categories and also those where you will need approval before you can list and sell items. The last thing that you want to do is invest a lot of money in inventory and then discover that you can't sell your products on Amazon. We will explain these gated categories and what you need to do to become approved as a seller in them. Most popular Amazon categories. If you want to be a successful Amazon FBA seller, then you need to know what kinds of products customers are purchasing. There's no point trying to sell products that nobody wants. You will lose a lot of money doing this and quickly become disillusioned about selling on Amazon. A survey by Jungle Scout in 2021 determined that these were the 10 most popular categories on Amazon. 1. Home and kitchen. 2. Sports and outdoors. 3. Toys and games. 4. Beauty and personal care. 5. Health, household, and baby care. 6. Kitchen and dining. 7. Office products. 8. Garden and outdoor. 9. Tools and home improvement. 10. Pet supplies. Before you get too excited about this list, you need to understand that some of these categories are restricted to new sellers. This can change fairly often, so we recommend that you check with Amazon before you choose the product categories that you want to sell in. Even if you are not restricted to sell in a category, there are some that we recommend that you avoid as a beginner. One example of this is electronics. It is fairly easy to source electronics, but they can go wrong, and you can end up with a lot of customer complaints. We will explain more about this in the next video. Categories open to new sellers. As a new seller, there are certain categories where you do not require approval from Amazon to sell products in. You need to be aware that a category will sometimes have selling guidelines that you will need to adhere by. It is also possible that a category that is open to new sellers will have some subcategories that require approval. There can also be cases where an open category will require approval for a certain type of product. You must do your homework here and understand the requirements of a category that you are interested in. This is something that you must do before you come up with product ideas and start to source your inventory. It is going to require an investment of time and money to acquire the products you want to sell, and you do not want to waste either of these resources. Amazon changes the rules often when it comes to categories. Here's the lowdown on the different categories at the time of creating this training. You may be surprised that some of these categories require approval from Amazon to sell products in them. They always have their reasons. As a new seller, it can be very difficult, if not impossible, to be approved to sell in categories that require approval. We cannot emphasize enough how important it is for you to do your homework here. Do not try to sell in a category that requires approval from Amazon when you are a new seller. There may be websites that claim you can get around this, but it is really not worth it. Focus on selling in the unrestricted categories. There are plenty of them. Most profitable categories. The profit margin that you can make on any items you sell on Amazon can vary considerably. If you are sourcing products, then you need to take into account the cost per item, branding, shipping, and so on. Jungle Scout have conducted a survey in this area, and they found that the following 10 categories were the most profitable. 1. Computers, 28%. 2. Video games, 26%. 3. Handmade products, 26%. 4. Books, 25%. 5. Apps and games, 24%. 6. CDs and vinyl, 24%. 7. Home and kitchen, 23%. 8. Pet supplies, 23%. 9. Beauty and personal care, 23%. 10. Kitchen and dining, 23%. The percentage figures are averages. It doesn't mean that you cannot make a higher profit percentage than those shown here. You also need to be aware that some subcategories can be very profitable. Categories and experience. There are some categories where your level of experience is not important to be successful when selling in them. Conversely, there are other categories where you require a great deal of experience to succeed with them. Categories that do not require experience. Appliances, books, electronics, toys and games, video games. Categories that do require experience. Apps and games, automotive parts and accessories, industrial and scientific, musical instruments, tools, and home improvement. It makes sense as a new Amazon seller to choose a category where you do not require a lot of experience to be successful. Of course, if you have experience in a specific niche, then you can go ahead and sell products in related categories. Does Amazon sell their own products in the category? An important thing to look out for is if Amazon sells its own products in a category. It is difficult, but not impossible, to compete with Amazon. Amazon are always going to feature their own products in front of yours or other people's. It doesn't matter if their own products are selling well or not. This is just the way it is, and you need to accept it. You may be aware that Amazon uses the Amazon Basics branding for a lot of its own products. In most cases, it is likely that an Amazon Basics product will be cheaper than your product if it is competing. If there are Amazon products in your category, then it is not the end of the world. A lot of customers will not want to go for the cheapest option. Most customers will look at the reviews for a product before deciding. Not all Amazon Basics products have good reviews. In the next video, we will discuss successful product sourcing for Amazon FBA.